This portion of Rockin Metal Revival is brought to you by...
I invented my own kind of grass, too. Do you know that? Look at this. This is registered. Carl Spackler Bench.
Oh, yeah, I've felt grass like this before. I've played on this.
This is a hybrid. This is a cross, bluegrass, Kentucky bluegrass, featherbed bench, and Northern California sensimilla. The amazing stuff about this is that you can play 36 holes on it in the afternoon, take it home, and just get stoned to the bejesus belt that night on this stuff.
And you're checking out the Rockin Metal Revival. Crank it up!
Isolation consumes you and calls you a friend. It's a twisted fall. Binds your life, steal and manipulates the will to be. And it's hard to see how soon we forget when there's nothing else left to destroy. It's a useless play. Your eyes will see the dawn of the day. And the legend of the wall. Those words that stare into your soul. As you yourself you will. It's domination. Pushed into living hell. Domination. Yeah. And now black dot is reaching out into infinity. Bodies suspended by chains over razors and nails. It's a penalty. Each razor a vice and each nail must demise of your life. Grim construction grows. As life played a trick, sealed you in brick by brick till you're rammed, forcing you to bend. Your eyes will see the dawn of the day. And the legend on the wall. Those words that stare into your soul. As your soul you will. It's domination. Pushed into living hell.
There's brand new music from Motorhead called Thunder and Lightning on Rockin Metal Revival. You know, we kind of wanted to take off this hour a little mellow there.
Yeah, really kick back and
you know, relax and not get you.
Bit. Yeah, little want to keep your heart rate down.
Yeah, a little Pantera, a little Metallica, a little Motorhead. So, Mike, what do you think of these new tunes we're playing?
I'm liking them.
Dude, I like new music, man.
Yeah.
It's good. I like when bands put out new music instead of keep rehashing the shit over and over and over again.
Instead of resting on your laurels,
yeah.
Or Hardee's or whatever you want to rest on.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Well, hey, we had the pleasure and the privilege to talk to Alex Skolnick. He is it a new super group, you'd kind of like to call him.
There's a huge bunch of people involved in this.
With, Mike Portnoy's one, and Phil Anselmo, and there's a lot of people on this.
Yeah, a lot of Tony Franklin, I think. Is he in there?
Yeah,
there's a lot of people.
So we're going to talk to Alex coming up. The band is called Metal Allegiance, and this is the first single. It's called Can't Kill the Devil.
Yeah, you can't.
You can try.
Yeah.
But you just can't do it.
Well, you think if anybody could, Metal Allegiance could.
That's right.
You know, you get all these metalheads
They're like
together.
the Super Friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If they should have a cartoon.
That'd be awesome.
We'll
think about that. All right, here's Metal Allegiance. This is their single, Can't Kill the Devil, on Rockin' Metal Revival. There's brand new music from the Metal Allegiance on Rockin Metal Revival. The song's called You Can't Kill the Devil, dude. And, man, it's good to hear some ass-kicking rock and roll again, isn't it?
Good stuff, man. I'm really digging this.
And it is an all-star event, and we are lucky enough to have on the phone with us Alex Skolnick of Metal Allegiance. You might know him from maybe a little band called Testament.
Oh, I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Alex.
Oh, thanks, guys. Good to be on the show.
Hey, Alex, how does a group like Metal Allegiance, how does this all come about? I mean, it just amazes me when all this talent gets into one room.
Yes. Well, it wasn't. We weren't literally in one room. Although the truth is, four of us were in one room.
Okay.
And I think that's why the record has that quality. You know, you guys mentioned it, ass-kicking rock and roll, right?
Exactly.
Not enough of it. We miss it. We all know what it is. We know it when we hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And we grew up on it. And the four of us, myself, Dave Ellison, Mike Portnoy, and Mark Mengy, whose brainchild this project is, we locked ourselves in a room, and well, more specifically, we locked ourselves in Mike Portnoy's house for a week, and we were going to do an all-star. We were thinking about an all-star cover record, but we thought we would try our hand at some originals, and it just went so well. We ended up with more material than we knew what to do with. So that it really started as this small core band, and then we padded it with some of our favorite singers and guest musicians.
Well, now, Alex, when you put out a project like this, the first question everybody asks is, will they tour? It's got to be hard to tour when you've got, all you guys have such big commitments with your other bands.
Right. You know, it's very funny. I just did a project, not like this sonically, but logistically. I did an acoustic album, my first. It's called Planetary Collision, and I have this amazing lineup of guests, a different lineup on every song, and it includes Rodrigo y Gabriela, Horacio El Negro Hernandez, and many others that are just like full-time touring artists. Mm-hmm. And I realized, I'll never do a show with everybody who's on the album. And it's so funny, the next project I do is Metal Allegiance. Also, approximately half a dozen musicians. They're all over the place. No, we'll never do a show with I doubt it. Who knows? You never know. But we don't need everybody to do the songs. We're actually doing an album release show in New York on September 17th. And we have a good portion of the artists. I think we have like nearly half. And it's very easy. People can double up on songs, people with similar voices. I think we'll even do some shows with smaller lineups, and we'll just, we'll find ways of making it work. It's something, it doesn't require everybody who's on the record to pull it off.
Now, there's a cruise coming up in February, I think, which there's been a lot of rock cruises, but this one is like the coolest for us guitar fans. The Axes and Anchors. How'd you get involved in this?
Axes and Anchors has a component of being the first cruise with the guitar enthusiast in mind. Mm-hmm. And I was honored to be part of the rollout of that. When it was first announced, it was Yngwie Malmsteen, Zach Wild, and myself. Mm-hmm. So that's like amazing company.
Yeah.
And it has there's a lot of other great guitarists that have been added, and we're all going to do guitar workshops as well as performances. I'm actually going to play there with my trio, which is more, it's instrumental music. It's more jazz rock. It's a little different than what you'll hear me do with Testament or Metal Allegiance. But I was, thrilled to be asked, and I think since then there's some straight rock bands that have been added as well. So I think it's it's going to have something for everybody. But and you're right, there have been a lot of these cruises lately. But one of the reasons is it's like combining the concert going experience with going on holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and I think that's very appealing. I know it's fun for us as musicians. It's fun for the fans because it's a little vacation, and they can bring their family. And even if somebody's not as interested in concert going, there's plenty of stuff for them to do.
Very cool. Hey, Alex, you talked about your jazz trio. I wanted to ask you, we know a couple other hard rock type guitarists who have also delved into the jazz projects a little bit. What is it about jazz and metal guitarists that it just seems to draw them?
Well, I think jazz is a very it has different meanings to different people.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think for me, it's more about a process of actually, the great jazz piano player Bill Evans said that, jazz is a process. It's not really a style of music. Every time you go to hear a jazz artist, or, at least somebody who's a legitimate jazz artist, a good jazz artist, it's going to be different. They're not going to play. The goal is to play it differently every time, to come up with something that sounds fresh and new. A good rock concert, it's the complete opposite. You want, the goal is to make it sound the same. If you have a good night of playing a rock set, well, you want to make it sound as close to that as possible the next night.
Yeah.
So I think for musicians, especially creative, restless musicians like myself and others, it's fun to play something different and just open it up and see where it goes. I think for me in particular, I like different sounds. I mean, I like to explore sounds that maybe guitarists like Wes Montgomery or Jim Hall did. I love the idea of taking a guitar and approaching it like a piano, and playing melody and chords, and you don't need anything else. You can just play guitar, and it's elegant and very dynamic. Not very different qualities than are found in rock and roll. And most rock guitarists, when they say they explore jazz, it's usually like instrumental music. But sonically, it's not always jazz. I mean, I really like the elegant, clean guitar sound of jazz too, and it gives me a nice balance from just playing loud, distorted guitar. Which is great in its own way, but there's it's not all that I listen to, and so why should it be all that I play?
Yeah. So, are there any guitarists on this cruise that you're looking forward to hanging out with that you haven't had a chance to yet?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Zach Wild is a character. He's always got some great stories and great jokes. Yngwie Malmsteen, I don't know him well, but what a legend. I call him the guitar king of Sweden.
Yeah,
and,
arpeggio man.
He's interesting. He's never wavered from what he did.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's easy. It's easy to make fun of. Throwing the guitar around and the tight pants and but you kind of have to give him credit.
Oh yeah.
He's never tried to conform to anybody else's idea of what he should do. And Michael Schenker is just for a long time he was one of my biggest influences.
Mine too. Yeah.
And he actually, I recognized some of his influences. I would read about others. I would sort of recognize them, especially from his solo work. But I would hear, the influence of, say, Leslie West from Mountain, Jeff Beck, David Gilmour, and you can, it was Michael Schenker who inspired me to check out those players who became great influences. So that's really exciting. And I know there's more and more artists being announced constantly. I don't know if the lineup is set yet, but I think it's going to be a really great hang as well as a great musical experience.
Well, I'm a big Randy Rhoads fan, and I know you were on the Randy Rhoads Remembered CD, and you've done a few shows. But there's also going to be a show.
Yeah.
There's going to be a show on this.
And that's been great to do.
And there's going to be a show on this cruise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who else is going to be involved in that, or any of the other guitarists?
Well, I know Brian Tichy, the drummer.
Yeah.
It's his brainchild, and
Rudy Sarzo's going to be.
It depends who's available. I know.
Yeah.
The go-to bassist for that has been Rudy Sarzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, which just makes it really special. There's the guy.
Oh yeah, the guy who played with him,
Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
So unless Rudy, I don't know. I can't speak for them. I don't know what Rudy's schedule is. I know he's doing a lot of other stuff as well. But I think there's a chance he'll be on there. And
Cool.
I'm not sure who the other guitarists will be. I know I will be there, so I'll do my part.
Cool.
Hey, getting back to the Metal Allegiance now, Alex, you talked about maybe some shows with just a few members of the Metal Allegiance. What's the tour plan for this?
Right now, we're not looking at any set tours. I think we're looking at one-offs.
Okay.
We have a big album release show in New York the day before the album comes out, September 17th, the Best Buy Theater. The whole thing evolved from these special events at NAMM, which is the annual music convention, and other places. So I know we're going to be looking at a performance at NAMM.
That'd be cool.
In January. I know there is another event in October on the West Coast that is being looked at. It hasn't been announced, so I can't specify it. There's an event overseas that we're looking at. There's, I think that right now on the books there's at least a half a dozen shows.
Nice.
That are just one-offs. It would be great to do a tour. I think we need the album to be out for that to happen.
Yeah.
And there just to be a better idea of the music and what the project is and how we represent it on tour. Right now, it's such a new thing.
Yeah.
So it's very promoters are very open to it, but we're not at the point where we can book the tour. And we also have these very challenging schedules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because ultimately we want to try whenever possible to have myself, Ellis, and Portnoy on the tour, handling those duties. And then we're hoping to have an extra drummer to switch off with, a second guitarist, and at least a couple singers. And everybody involved either needs to be somebody from this album or somebody that's on the level of the people on the album. So it's a bit ambitious, but we want to play live as much as possible, and I know it's being looked at.
Okay, cool. Hey, I would be doing our listeners a disservice if I didn't ask what's up with Testament.
Absolutely. We have a bunch of music written. Things got very busy, not just with other projects, mainly because Testament had a lot of touring opportunities this year. We did our first shows with Metallica overseas. We did a whole month or so with Exodus, but we're actively discussing when we're going to be working on the record and the next record and have it. We want it finished before the year's end.
So, the song "Can't Kill the Devil." Do you think that could have benefited from adding some cowbell?
I hadn't thought about it, but the devil has horns in theory.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cows have horns, right?
Yeah. That's kind of how we were thinking of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Well, we're a little late on that.
Throw that at Portnoy for maybe the live performance.
Yeah, he loves
Well,
cowbell.
exactly. Live, there's no reason why it can't work.
So, before we get out of here, Alex, we're going to play another tune that you played on the Randy Rhoads Remembered, "Goodbye to Romance." Tell us a little bit about being involved in that project.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of fun. This has been a tribute to Randy Rhoads that's taken place at the NAMM show for the last couple of years, and it evolved. There have been some tour dates. I've been unavailable for a lot of tour dates, but I did manage to do a few of them last year with Rudy Sarzo on bass and many other great players. Randy was a huge inspiration on all of us, and he, to me, he is very representative of the ideal of of a great artist and performer. He played with Ozzy. He played this very intense, wild music. He played for the quintessential rock and roll wild man. Yet he was a very sort of soft-spoken person, a classical guitar enthusiast. He would study in different towns and just really had his musicianship on a level that was more in line with instrumental artists. And I think he really sort of raised the standard for many of us, and it's such a tragedy that he's not around, and I think his playing would have gone many places. So it's just it's to be able to pay tribute to him is a real honor.
Well, that's very cool. Alex, we appreciate you coming on Rockin Metal Revival, and we wish you all the success with Metal Allegiance and Testament and all the projects you're involved with.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Hi, this is Alex Skolnick of Metal Allegiance, and you're listening to Rockin Metal Revival.
Yesterday has been and gone. Tomorrow will I find the sun, or will it rain? Everybody's having fun, except me. I'm the lonely one. I live in shame. Goodbye to friends and to romance, and to all of you, and to all of you. Come on now. This
Yeah, it's Jim Florentine from That Metal Show on VH1 Classic, and you listen to Rockin Metal Revival, whatever the fuck that means.
I've been taken to the limits of my patience wearing thin. My frustration leads me down a path I'm sorry I began. I've been driven to the point, no return once I began. I've been running round in circles over and over again. Better days are coming. No more roads to misery. Better days are coming. Said the past. I've walked so many miles in this reality. This world that we are living looks small to me. Every time I make a move, I run into another time. A victim of misdirection. I need to leave it behind. The bridge is falling into the sea. The roads all lead to misery. A fading sign points the way to a better day. Better days are coming. No more roads to misery. Better days are coming. Said the past. Better days are coming. No more roads to misery. Better days are coming.
There's brand new music from Seven Witches. It's called Better Days on Rockin Metal Revival. And a lot of new music on the show today. I'm really enjoying a lot of this new stuff coming out. Some good heavy metal.
Cool.
Hard rock coming out. And speaking of that, on our next show, we want to welcome a friend of the show who's been on a couple times, Brandon Gibbs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to
From
be...
the Bee Gees.
No.
Yeah. And Barry. When are we going to get Barry on?
Barry Gibb?
Barry Gibbs.
It's Brandon Gibbs, not Brandon Gibb.
Oh, what's the difference? They're not related?
No.
Wow.
He's
Okay.
from the Devil City Angels.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'll be
I
on.
know.
He'll be on our next show, and I got that to look forward to.
That's cool.
Make plans right now to come out and see the V as she comes to the Midwest on the Now or Never tour. She'll be in Janesville, Wisconsin, October 16th. Rockford, Illinois at Take 20 on October 17th. And she'll be rocking the stage at the Rockin' Skull Festival in Pekin, Illinois on Sunday, October 18th.
Crazy.
Yeah.
3 days in a row.
Should be right before the Bullet Boys, dude. We'll get to see our buddy Mark Torian.
Cool.
So
cool.
Got that to look forward to. Got a big weekend. Have a great weekend. We will see you next time. As we always say as we get the hell out of here, don't drink and drive.
Smoke and fly.
Peace.
Position tonight in New York, millionaires and lonely people with lonely stares. I'm not looking for love and I'm lost in this night. In the naked city, there are 10 million stories. I'm not looking for pity. Young lovers and love at first sight. This is my flesh and my fantasy. Oh, older women with younger men. I've got a feeling I'm in trouble again, but I've got to live my destiny in the naked city. It's a race with the devil. All the pain and the sorrow. Is there no tomorrow? In the naked, naked city. Naked city. Lonely people looking for someone. Lonely people going away. Lonely people looking for something. Lonely people going away. In New York, millionaires and lonely people with lonely stares. I'm not looking for love and I'm lost in this night. In the naked, there are 10 million stories, and I'm not looking for pity. In this naked city, naked, naked city. It's a race with the devil. All the pain and the sorrow. Is there no tomorrow? In the naked, naked city. It's a race with the devil.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal God, with Red and Jerry's Rockin Metal Revival Internet Radio Show. Turn it way up.
Pounding the world like a battering ram. Forging the furnace for the final grand slam. Chopping away at the sun.
brings to an end another edition of Rockin Metal Revival. If you enjoyed it, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell two. Until next time, this is Rockin Metal Revival.
Fuck you guys, I want to get out of here.